Gigi, and welcome to the Success Redefined interview series. I'm so excited to have you here. Tell me, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here with you.
Yes, me too, because I know what we're going to talk about today is a hot topic for a lot of people. We have a lot of upbringings and just different things that really do impact the way we think about this. So let's talk about what this is. Tell us a little more about what it is that you do.
I am the founder of My Cats and Me Financial Coaching, and I'm a profit alignment coach. I started as a bookkeeper, my business, and I just evolved to just more coaching area because I feel that money is part of our business, is not the whole of our business. And understanding how that works in terms of the mechanics of it, categorizing taxes and all the good stuff, it's a part of your business and it's important, but it shouldn't be that cloud over your head of worry and stress. And there are the other aspect of money that is the energetic and the energetic exchange. And I feel that we need to combine those both venues together instead of just focusing on one or the other, the manifestation or taxes accounting. It's like getting them combined to
Yes.
make it fun.
And, I think this is something that, like I said, this is a topic that I was really excited to talk about because we see this in the business space. We work with money every single day, right? And depending on a lot of different factors is how we view that money. So with your background of being behind the scenes of a lot of people's books and finances, and, it comes to tax time and there's this huge crunch and all of this happening, you were seeing in and out, the good and the bad of what was really happening as far as the amount of money people make versus the amount of money they actually take home to themselves, correct?
Yes, and I feel that I love you touching on that because one of the things that I see is that people definition of success or people goals are like six figures or whatever it is, but they're not accounting overhead or paying themselves. I've seen a business that make $20,000 a year and they pay themselves consistently because they want like their businesses to fund their pocket money, let's say.
Mhm.
And I've seen business that are six-figure businesses and the owner never paid themselves.
Mhm.
And what like why that happens? That happens because that person believes that they can't. Because if they pay themselves, the business is gonna collapse. But that's not the reality, right? Like we are our business. Like I feel that every business owner needs to embody that without you, your business doesn't exist. And if you're hiring somebody to support you, you need to pay yourself first because that person is supporting your vision, your dream, and that's how you build your business, right? Like if you don't pay yourself consistently, how can you trust that you can support somebody else's livelihood if you don't support your own? So
And
it's almost like our business needs to support our lifestyle, not us having a lifestyle that supports our business. And that's the balance that sometimes it's hard because it's push and pull.
and did you find that you were asking clients that directly as far as, kind of dipping your toe over to the other side of, wait, why do you believe you can't pay yourself? Or like what is coming up there? Or did that feel like oh, I can't go into that territory. They only want me to, you know, put out the numbers for them.
I'm not a linear thinker, right? People assume that because I work with numbers, my thought is linear, but it's not. So for me, it was kind of natural to ask them, why is this? And not from a place of shaming them or making them feel bad. It's just so I can understand because as they were trusting me with their numbers, right? So if I don't understand and if I'm not able to see their full picture, I'm not able to support them. because I'm supporting with what I'm seeing, but I'm not supporting with their end goal and end vision. And by asking questions, it helps them get that clarity as well of, oh, I'm doing this because I'm afraid, or I'm doing this because, you know, because my goal right now is to just reinvest in my business. And you know that is, you're doing that because it's aligned. You're not doing that because you're afraid. So for me, it was natural to ask questions from a place of curiosity.
Mhm. Yes. And are you always looking for that difference between, is this fear-based thinking or alignment? And I'm really glad you mentioned about, because I think a lot of people don't talk about this. Like, you have times in business where you may be intentionally taking less profit because you are investing in certain things or infrastructure. There's different things that happen within the lifespan of a business. But if you made that place from an intentional decision of like, hey, I understand that I'm doing it for this reason, it's fine. If it's like, oh, I'm doing this from this fear based, like, I have to do it because I'll just find a way to make the money back or whatever is happening, now you're starting to cause like a whole snowball effect.
Yeah, and I feel that's what happens when we make decisions based on fear. Any decisions, right? And a lot of our decisions based on fear are money related. Sometimes we are investing in something because somebody else told us we should, or we are not investing in something because we're afraid. We're not paying ourselves because we're fearful. We get to the hamster wheel of anytime we make money, we spend all of it, and we don't spend intentionally because we are fear based, right? So I make this money, I'm going to spend this money. I make this money is almost like your reward for earning the money is just spending it mindlessly. When if you're not doing that with intention, we're always going to get in the loop, right? It's like a soundtrack, a feedback loop that we keep telling ourselves that this is how it happens. But once we stop and we have clear values, we have a clear like why I'm doing this, it's easier. And one of the things that I see, I work with a lot of people in that massive meadow. That's my cat. He's 21 years old. It's very on brand. Totally on brand. uh, what I feel is that I lost my train. Okay, so what I feel is that I work with a lot of people in that massive meadow. And the Massimito means you need help, you need support to get to the next level. And I feel that that is the place that you're going to invest your money. You're going to invest your money on people and invest your money in systems. And that is a decision that you're going to make. And sometimes that decision means I'm going to cut my salary a little bit so I can support those new people. And once everything go back to where it should be, I pay myself the same. Or I'm going to cut back investments in professional development so I can get this person up and on board. So I feel that everything we do is from this place of investments, right? Intentionality. I'm not joining this coaching program just because I'm joining because my values are aligned, because I like the people that are in the container, because I need that, and I'm going to put in the work, right? So I feel that when we're talking about money, we talk a lot about like what is in the bank account, but we need to see like what I see in life and business is that everywhere I spend my money is an investment. I'm getting something like in my business is I'm getting a system that facilitates, I'm getting an assistant that helps my life. I'm investing in coaching to make me better, for my clients. My personal life, I'm going to concerts because it gives me joy. I'm buying a bling cup because it makes me happy. Like everything, like it's always an exchange. Mm-hmm. And that's why I feel that being aligned is such a big part of it, of how we see money. So we make sure that you're not going to regret spending that money.
Yes. And do you have any questions that you either use with your clients or yourself to just kind of like check in with your own alignment. So before you go to make an investment, whether it's a larger one, a smaller one in your business, just some like grounding questions that kind of make sure you're working from this place of alignment versus fear.
I use human design in my business a lot. And for me, it's almost leaning into your human design, right? I am a generator. So let's say joining your program was a full body like yes, was like no, I was not like, I'm not sure. Do I want to do this because I'm afraid? No, it was like yes. And I was asked to join other programs that I was like, no, it doesn't feel right. So it's almost like leaning into how you respond. And having that. So again, like I do that with like human design. Like I have clients that are emotional. So for them, they cannot make a decision when they're feeling too happy or too sad. They need to get to that
That's me.
black line, right? So like they always get like excited and not excited, excited, not excited. So like those peaks, you shouldn't be making any decisions, any important decisions. You can decide what you're gonna eat, but you shouldn't decide if you're gonna invest, tens of thousands of dollars or something. If you are a reflector, you might need to wait a moon cycle, right? Like so to make sure that you're making that decision for you, have somebody you really trust that can you guide you on those decisions. So it's almost like fine tune your intuition, and if you you're so overwhelmed that you don't know what to start, just go for a walk, listen to some good music, dance, move your body, do something to get you out of that indecision. And then when you go back, you have the clarity of yes or no. So I feel that for me, the questions that I ask are actually not money related. They're more like the feeling and following your strategy and making sure that, you know, don't feel pressure. If you feel pressured, it's not. You shouldn't be doing it.
Mhm.
You know?
And I really love the focus on taking time. And I know we've talked about this before, as far as in the online space, we see this a lot where there are these like quick decisions as far as like some high ticket investments and different things like that. And it's like, you have to make this decision on the phone or you need to do those kind of things. And I'm always like, yeah, I don't work well that way. Because I know on the phone, depending on who I'm talking to, I could be very high, high or very low, low. And I'm going to make a decision from that place versus getting to whatever my baseline is. And I think overall, like, wouldn't you rather have somebody in your offerings that's like a clean yes, or like you said, like a full bodied yes of being able to do that. And we also have that option from the consumer side to be like, yeah, if you're going to make me do this right now, then it's a no because I didn't have time to actually, if I need time, I need time.
And I feel that it comes from like respecting the other human being, right?
Mhm.
And I don't like the pressure kind of sales, like we talked about it before. But I also feel that we as a consumer, we need to let people know like this strategy is not working. And every time somebody says the last time ever, it's never the last time ever. They're always like a different version of it or a different container, but there's always like other ways. So I think that is understanding that options are always available for us. We don't need to feel pressure. And one of the questions that I hear a lot is in terms of hiring, right? Like, when do I know I should hire? Well, before you're ready. That's what everybody says. But your first hire shouldn't necessarily be a virtual assistant. It can be somebody else that can really support and leverage your business. And you're able to hire somebody when you're paying yourself consistently. So the first step, it always starts with you because it gives you the clarity and the confidence that you're able to support other people.
And I can see this like, and I know I've talked about this publicly before. I never knew that people didn't pay themselves out of their business because I was never in a position where like that, that was an
Yeah.
option. So I was like, wait, what are you guys doing? Like you don't get any money from it? And I'm like, oh, I would be not only burnt out, but like an extra level of resentful of
Yeah.
wait, and I don't even get anything out of this. Like I'm working for free. And it happens more often than people realize. So that focus on no, it's you first, then you can bring in your assistant or whatever, role that the business needs.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that you tap into the resentment, right? How many people close their business, not because they don't love it, but because they're resentful of it, because it's taking them away from their family, from doing what they enjoy doing on their free time, because they are on that loop of doing what they feel they should be doing, not what is right for them. Because no business, like you saw inside of so many businesses, no two businesses are the same. And we need to honor that. And the money metric is just one, but it starts with you rewarding yourself for your vision and your hard work.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and setting that intention from the beginning, or you could be years in listening to that, and it's like, okay, we can set that intention today of I'm gonna start taking my own cut from this business, and it doesn't have to be like I'm assuming it's not like a 0 to 60, type of thing. It could be in small increments too.
Yeah, and one of the things that I tell people, especially when they're starting their business, is start with $10. I don't care if you're paying yourself $10 or $10 million. Uh, start with something, because we create that flow and we create that the mindset of doing that, right? Like that really, like, oh, I always paid myself. So when I started my business, I don't think that anybody starts their business making a lot of money. We all start from zero because it's a new business. When I started my business, I said, this is my livelihood. I need this money to pay my bills. So half of what I make goes to my family, goes for myself. And my business when I started was just me. Uh, I had the Zado, and that was about it. So like very lean, and I had a list of things that I really would like to have. I would really like to add. So like what I call make your dream list. And don't see that as like I cannot afford it, just like, oh, this is for later. This is my option to purchase this or to invest in this later. And as my revenue increased, I was able to add things to my business while paying myself. I started like that, and I recommend everybody starting to start from that point, because it becomes consistent. But if you've been in business for a while and you don't pay yourself consistently, you pay yourself leftovers. How many people pay themselves leftovers? Um, Realign yourself and start paying yourself 20% of your sales, 30% of your sales. Start with a number that feels aligned. And I always recommend percentages instead of a dollar amount, because sometimes our income is seasonal. And if I say I'm going to pay myself $5,000 every month, then you get like nervous if a month thing not reaching it, right? So do a percentage and increase little by little. Like it doesn't need to be, it's not rocket science, and it doesn't need to be overly complicated. Just choose a number that feels aligned and it feels doable. And you can always increase from there. It's easier to increase than to decrease.
And it makes me think of just the fact that, and I always say, business is simple, humans are complicated. Same thing with money, right? Like money's pretty simple, but the stories we bring to it and all the like different outside perspectives, all of that can make it very, very complicated. So to be able to catch yourself and go, wait a minute, like where did that come from? Or does this even match my intention? Like, am I even creating what it is that I want with this money? Because money will flow wherever you want it to. So, making that choice from the beginning. And I'd love to hear about like just the structure of your business. So your own offerings, when you're focused on obviously alignment for money, if you are focused on that, that means alignment with the rest of your business as a whole too. So what does that structure look like?
Money flows were in energy goals, right? So be very aware. And I feel that that alignment is what took me to pivot my business almost like completely because what I was doing before became out of alignment. And I think as business owners, we should always give ourselves the grace to have our business changing with us. It's not because you start to do one thing 5 years ago that you're gonna still be loving to do that 5 years later. So you can always give yourself that room. My business right now, it's myself. I have a executive assistant that does like emails and all this stuff because I am terrible in replying to emails. They send me an email today, it will take me 3 months to reply. It will either be 3 seconds or 3 months. And my clients, they were kind of used to it, but it was like the best I could do for them, right? So I always get myself up for that. So I have a executive assistant to help me with that. And I have a bookkeeping assistant as well to help with the bookkeeping because even though I'm pivoting, I'm still serving my current clients. So I have somebody helping me with that. And my bookkeeping assistant was actually my first hire. I didn't hire my executive assistant first. And I use Profit First to manage my money. And I'm a Profit First certified professional. They made that be a mouthful. And the reason why I like Profit First is that it works with what is important for me in my business, and it helps me set up for my future goals. So, an example of that is for me, charitable donations is very important. It's very important for me to be able to financially support organizations that I believe in. So I have an account for that. So I have monthly patronages that I do, but also every quarter, if I have money left over in that account, I do a bigger contribution to the same organizations or to something completely different, whatever I'm feeling that I want to do. So like Profit First allows me to do that from this place of abundance. Like, oh, I have an extra $500 in this account. Who I'm gonna help today? Like it makes me feel like abundant and happy and powerful instead of feeling that I'm taking the money away from me. And another thing is like when I started my business almost 4 years ago, I had my dream team account. So once I hire my people, I had a little bit of funds there available. So when I hired them, I wasn't like, oh, fluff, what I'm gonna do with that, how I'm gonna pay them. Like, it was like almost like, oh, I have this, so I can train them, I can onboard them, and everything feels easy. Everything feels abundant, feels easy. So I feel that is always fine for me. Was finding my flow and my structure to support. I don't see myself having an agency or a lot of employees or people working for me. I like to stay small, and I feel that this is what I need right now.
As far as your offering, so what do
Oh,
you currently have available there too?
of course. So I have courses right now. I have the beginning bookkeeping kit that is very good for people starting. That has I feel like worksheets to one is to track your income and expenses. One is to create your money map. That's kind of a budget, but a little bit more fun and abundant, and a pricing tool. Because I feel pricing is where people always get caught up because they don't understand how it works. And usually when we're starting our business, we charge what we see people charging, and that's not necessarily the right price for us. And then I have 3 courses that I will be consolidating them soon. So if you want to get them separated, now's the time. One is Money Mindset Mastery, where I talk about regular money blocks that people have and how to overcome them. And I'm sharing strategies that I used within myself because I came not from a lot of things. I was told that, you, I, you, you can only be wealthy if you come from a wealthy family. Otherwise, you're never going to be wealthy. So, like, I had to work on a lot of internal things that, and all those strategies I'm sharing with in that course. I have the second one is Pricing for Profit. That is about pricing for profit, strategies of how can you price your services, what to look for, and that comes from the money standpoint. terms of profitability itself, but also alignment. What is the price that feels good for you? Because I think that people either do a price that they're comfortable with, or they do what everybody else is charging. And there is a strategy to get a little bit outside of the comfort zone, but it still feels good, a price that you're 100% behind. Because once you're 100% behind the price, people see the value. If you're insecure, people will be insecure about it. And I have a intentional profit that is a profit first implementation course where I talk about the system. I give all the worksheets and spreadsheets, and I talk a little bit about like the mindset behind it of managing your money, because I feel that we can make as much money as we want or as little money, but if we don't manage it properly and with intention, we never know where it's going. So those are the courses that I have. I also offer a VIP day that is called the Catnip in a Day. That is complete abundant transformation by nurturing intentional profit, where we tackle mindset, pricing strategy, money management. And I use tools like money management, obviously profit first, setting up your system, your accounting system if you don't know what to do, review your prices to make sure that they're aligned and they are going where you want to go with your business. And the mindset is a lot of definition of why you're doing this. I think that everything starts there. And I also going to start offering coaching, a 4-month coaching container that is similar to the Catnip in the Day, but it's a little bit longer and a little bit more holding hand. And that's something that I'm very excited for.
Yes. And I would love to hear, now that we talked about your offers and your structure, is your definition of freedom-driven success.
Just living my dream life every day. And I feel that is being able to not work if I'm not feeling good, is being able to take a weekday off if I want, is being able to work on the weekend if I want. It's just being able to live my dream life every day, be generous, and really experience nice things. Live on my own terms. I think that would be pretty much it.
And I think really, when I think back as far as things that you have leaned into in the past to claim this definition, it makes sense as far as the pivot away from a lot of done for you work. And a lot of that like upfront client type of stuff, where if you want to be able to step out whenever, weekday, weekend, those type of things, enjoy life, but also have a business that you really love. So to be able to get those like pings of this isn't it, and follow it, that's not always easy, right? To go like, oh no, we're going to head this way.
No, I feel it's terrifying, and it's one of those things that is almost like you're making the decisions that feel counterintuitive. You're making the decisions that everybody's like, but why? And for me, like with my business, like with the bookkeeping business, I could easily sign 3 clients a month if I wanted, right? But did I want it? Like, did I want to keep doing that just to reach a number of clients and be able to say, oh, I helped X amount of people, or to reach like the monetary goal? Or is that what success is to me? Right. And I think that freedom driven success is like, what is success? What does success looks like? And for me, is loving my life every day. Like if I'm doing client work or if I'm having a vacation day, they are both my dream day. Like they're both part of my dream life, and embodying, and what are the decisions that I could make to embody that today, not wait until tomorrow. And those decisions, I feel that were very difficult to make, because sometimes it's saying bye to money that could be here today, and making that kind of decision is always scary, but it's also opening room for what feels good and what will let me to live my dream life every day. So yeah.
And it pays off. And I just the fact that we can talk about the fact that it is uncomfortable, right? Like, it's not like it just happens. You are going to have those two sides where at one end it's like, oh yeah, you could do this, don't worry. And then the other one's like, are you crazy? Are you gonna, like all of these kind of things. And it's like, no, but if I am following my definition and using that as a compass, the rest will figure itself out. And it will get to that place. So as you continue to lean into your definition even further, what are some things that you are working on within, let's say, the next 4 to 6 months, in order to just deepen your definition of freedom-driven success?
I love the question. I feel that the first thing for me is always remind myself what success looks like to me.
Mhm.
And even though I work with money, it's not a monetary number. So for me, that was very hard to like embody, because I was like, oh, I work with money. I should be talking about money all the time. But no, my success is actually a little bit different. And I am streamlining my offer. So as I said, my courses are gonna be one package in one. And because I feel that everything starts with your mindset and your why, and just trickle down to everything else. And that's how you build a sustainable business. And I am transitioning out of a big corporate client that I have that is most of my time, so I can open room for more coaching sessions. Um, yeah, those are the things. But internally, I'm working a lot of shit. In terms of like getting the internal clarity that I need to get to be able to serve my clients better.
Yes. And I'm excited to see it continue to unfold. All of those, sometimes there are small steps, sometimes there are huge leaps that have to happen throughout the process, and just checking in over and over, like, is this it? Is this it? Refining as you go, and really listening to those nudges versus just trying to push through for what? Like, what are we doing if that's how we're working? So I would love if you could share, where are all the ways to find you and your adorable cat goodness?
They're adorable. My cats are, every cats are adorable. So I am on Instagram, hello_my cats and me. And my website is mycatsandme.com. And you can always DM me on Instagram. I love connecting with people and people that share like cat pictures and all that stuff.
We'll take all cat photos. Please send them over.
Yes.
Oh, well, thank you so much for coming here, for sharing all about your business, what it is that you do, the structure, all of that, because I do just think it's a beautiful thing to not only be able to see other business owners that have the same kind of values and the same kind of compass that you could be working with, but also to see just how different businesses are structured, and we're all getting to our definition of freedom-driven success, as long as we are staying in alignment and we are really willing to ebb and flow as our business goes. So I am going to link everything below or in the caption, depending on where you're catching this, in order to follow Gigi, connect with her. She has amazing resources available. And Gigi, thank you so much for sharing with us today.
Thank you for having me. I really, really appreciate it.